Okay, so we're going to just take this to the bench. I've already pulled it out of the cabinet. I have a feeling this is going to be a boring video, but you never know. This is, again, chassis sitting on top of the cabinet, which is filthy. A silver-faced Fender Bassman, probably mid-70's, and next to it sits a cardboard box for somebody waiting to buy something. Hey Jamie, pay for your stuff so I can ship them to you. Anyway, we'll go put this on the bench and have a look. So this came in about the same time as the silver face twin reverb, and I opted to do the twin reverb first because I thought it would be more interesting. On this one we have our preamp tubes, which, 12AX7, or actually it says ECC83. The brand on it says Audio Classic. Ooh, sounds like a great brand. It's a generic China tube. Audio Classic. And this one I would think is, this is the Audio Classic 12AT7A. And then the 4 power tubes were JJ's. But the reason I thought that this might not be an interesting video is I took the doghouse cover off, which is, I already have the screws loose here. And what did I find under the doghouse? Well, everybody's hoping a big giant mess that needs to be fixed. But I found Sprague Adams. Very artfully installed Sprague Adams, and everything in here looks pretty healthy. So there's kind of that. And then if I flip it over, we'll probably grab our camera. Good grief, is that a huge, huge, huge output transformer. Heavy, heavy. Alright, so let's see if we can balance it or if it's just going to want to tip over. And it's going to want to tip over on us, but that's okay. So we'll bring the camera around here. Let's dismount it from the tripod. Prepare to get sick from movement. Okay, here we go. So we've got replaced Sprague Adam electrolytic, replaced Sprague Adam electrolytic. The board's kind of got a wave to it. I don't know what's up with that, but who really cares if it works. Replaced Sprague electrolytic over here, and a replaced Sprague electrolytic over here. So this has already been recapped with Sprague Adams. None of the resistors or anything in here. Nothing looks crusty, dusty, busted, anything. This just looks fine. So despite the fact that the amp is filthy, grungy, and has a one bodged knob on here, we got master volume, bass, treble, whatever. I don't know, is this a push-pull? No, doesn't feel like it. It's a Bassman, I don't think it would have that. I didn't expect this to be a big project. It might just be a turn it on, see if it works, and then clean it. So let's go get its power tubes, turn them on, and see if it works. Okay, so this already has a 3-prong power cord and Sprague Adam capacitors and all of that, so we'll flip the on switch. We did get a power light, yippee, and we'll give it a moment for the tubes to warm up. We have our sacrificial speaker plugged in underneath. I see glow in all the power tubes. I'll take a look in the preamp tubes. Yeah, there's glow. Again, I think this is probably just going to work fine. And it's interesting, the tone cap over here, way out here. Let's see, that one, orange drop. Don't know if that one's stock. The one in the other channel, this one over here, is red. But yeah, somebody's been in here and it looks like they were fairly competent. This pot does not look to be original. It actually looks like it might have got kind of mashed and mauled, so I don't know if I like this one. But if it works correctly, Alright, here goes. Death switch. Click, kaboom. Big explosion. Let's turn the master volume up a little bit. Let's turn a channel volume up a little bit. Okay, this jack does not appear to be grounding well when it's disconnected. That's an easy fix. Tone pot number 1, tone pot number 2, a little bit of crunch there. This tone pot is ugly and I don't like it, or this pot it's ugly, it just doesn't look right in this amp. But it feels fine from the outside. It looks like it was like salvaged from some other piece of equipment. And if we clean it, maybe it'll shut the hell up. Bright switch does what it's supposed to do. Let's check this channel. Let's turn this one down to zilch. This channel is whisper quiet. Alright, so we got some little bit of sizzle and fizzle over here on this side. Wow. Valve number 2. Listen to that. If I touch the Chinesium valve. So valve number 2 is not good. It might just be loose or it might be crap. Let's wiggle it a little bit. See if it settles down. Okay. Yeah, the valve number 2 in here, this 12AX7. So it was this one down under here. That one was making horrible noises when I tapped on it, but it was just because it was loose in the socket. So we're going to clean the socket, push that back in good, and it should quit making poppy rattly sounds. So that was that. And that pot is loose. Cheap, 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 cheap. So, what are we going to do to this amplifier? Well, this tube socket is a problem. So we'll clean it and maybe tweak it a little bit if we have to, or replace it. But I think I'm probably going to change that pot because I don't like it. And just give everything a bath and see where it gets us. Okay, it must have been a bad day at the factory. I took that questionable pot out of there. It's obviously made for a PC board. It's made by Central Lab allegedly, but the back is just like a sticker and the sticker's like mashed down. No, we're not going to leave that in the amplifier. Okay, so I've replaced the messed up Central Lab pot with a pot that I had here in the shop. So when we look down the rows of pots, obviously we're still looking at factory, 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 and we pass through mine, despite the fact that if you look carefully it's an alpha. It doesn't scream one of these things is not like the other. You know that song from Sesame Street? So yeah, that's a suitable replacement. I don't think that the electronics community will get too mad about using alpha branded potentiometers. They're okay. It's the generic Chinesium ones that everybody gets upset about. So alpha is okay, as are Borns. Borns seem to be well liked. So I guess we'll give it a bath now, clean some sockets, do a little bit more testing. I think that's probably all the dang thing needed. Okay, so it's been a few days since we last looked at this amp. I've given it a bath. There's some things that just don't clean up, but I tried to scrub the worst of the schmoo off, straighten this up a little bit, make it a little bit more cosmetically presentable. At this point, this amplifier is kind of like Susan Boyle or Willie Nelson. Not much to look at, but it's got a good voice, right? Actually, Willie's voice is really hurting with age. Anyway, master volume's at 5. Volume on this channel is at 4. Should get plenty of, I'll turn it up to maybe 5. We should get a lot of hum. Bass pot, we can go from, oh come on, play ball with me here. I'm trying to get a good, big, fat hum out of there. There we go. Get my fingers off of that. So bass pot. Obviously volume pot, deep switch, both of those work okay. Come over to the normal channel, put the volume at forge, treble, middle, and so that's all working. We're good. Demo time. Okay, so demo time. We've got a bass and we're plugged into the bass channel, and this amp actually really impresses me. Now the cabinets we're using, we've got a 115 and a 410, both made by me. Together they're 4 ohms because they're made to be used on amps like this that require 4 ohms. So bass channel master volume at 3, main bass channel volume at 4, treble at like 5.5, and bass at 5. And we've got a lot of room to work. We'll give a little bit more of a kick here, a little bit more out of the back. Camera's going to freak because even at 5 and 5, I've got things in this basement that are chattering. So let's just turn the treble up and get a little bit of clank and put a little bit of single coil jankiness into our bass guitar here. There we go. Now we got a little bit more, there we go. There's just a ton of power in this amplifier, and I got to stifle it for the sake of the camera. But that works great. Obviously, we had to change our bass pot, but that's doing what it's supposed to do. So, go back to a humbucker there. I'm using a PV bass, PVT40. This thing rules. All right, so bass pot at 0, bass pot at 10. I don't know if the camera can hear that, but everything else in the shop sure can. And treble pot at 0. Treble pot at 10. So that's good. Volume at, nothing. Turn it up. And scare the world. And the deep switch works too, so let's just find something comfortable. Deep switch. That works good. And despite the fact that we still have a bass guitar in our hands, we'll try the normal channel anyway. Put that up to say 3. We've got the tone controls at 5, 5, and 5. 4. Bright switch. Okay, treble at 0. Treble at max. These speakers are not engineered for treble, so, but that's good. You can tell that's working. Mid, we'll put it 0. And at max. Again, with the bass, it's kind of hard to hear it, but it is working fine. And bass at 0. And bass at max. To be honest with you, I think this normal instrument channel is every bit as bassy as the bass channel, but and then of course our master volume works just fine too. Turn it up to 10 with an instrument input of 1 or 2. I don't want to hurt anybody. Go to 2.5. And we can turn down or turn up. So everything passes inspection. We'll get this one up for sale. There'll be a second video just outlining it all. If this amp was a person, it would probably be like Susan Boyle, who was the person on the X Factor. when you look at it, you don't think much, but the voice is solid. This has got a really good voice. The amp sounds great. It's got the atom caps, and it's got very, very young tubes, so I can't see anything to fault this one in terms of sonic ability and workability. It's just good to go.